Hi, I'm Melissa Muir. Welcome back for another Tool Time Tuesday. Out on Pinterest, there is one pin of mine that gets pinned more often than any others. And it's kind of funny to watch where this pin shows up because a lot of times it's showing up in like PMC. But I wanted to show you really quickly how I make this and to show you guys that it's not PMC, it's actually just a piece of copper. So let's see how it goes now. So the pendant just started off as just a copper blank. It's 18 gauge, so it's fairly thick. And I have it in several different shapes. But what I've used is just a really big stamp. I believe that this one's probably an 8 or 9 millimeter stamp, maybe 10. With a swirl. And there's different styles that are out there. You can get them from many different places. I believe this one came from Beeducation. When I do my stamping, I use a 1 pound brass hammer. A lot of people say that they use like a 2 pound brass hammer, but for me that was a little bit heavy. And yes, I have to work a little bit more, but this works well for me. One thing that I want to make sure that I do first is really get a good feel for my stamp. So I have a test piece that I usually will pull in and try it out. And that will give me an indicator as to, where I might have like a higher spot of the stamp. So you saw just one strike is what I try to do. But sometimes I need to do multiple strikes. And sometimes I will kind of move the stamp around, but I find that when I do that, I get more ghosting. But again, you want to be really cautious with moving your stamp because sometimes it will move it. And even sometimes the stamp will move when you give a strike. So what I like to do is get one of my fingers down, I lay the stamp right next to it so that kind of helps support it. And that way then I can really give it a good strike. But also I want to keep my hand clear. And the camera angle doesn't really show this that well, but you can see that my hand is certainly down lower because, believe it or not, I've actually hit my hand more than I would like to admit. Working on a nice hard steel block is something that I like. Some people, if they have a smaller piece, they'll actually tape it down. So what I've done with this pendant is I just came in here and I just randomly put these swirls on here. And you can see there, it didn't totally give me a good impression, and that's because there's a slight dome to this piece. But on this particular piece, that's not an issue because I'm going to be overlapping this design anyway. So what I do is I come in and I will just twist or turn the stamp in different directions so that things kind of lay out nicely. And I'm going to also stamp off of the edge. And you can see by doing this, we get kind of that random pattern in there. And it actually looks really, really cool when you get all done and you patina this. So that's how I do this piece. And like I said, it might look like PMC, but it's not, just a stamp. I actually have a small assortment of copper shapes that I am going to give away. I will give it to 3 lucky winners. So if you'd like to be one of my lucky winners, make sure that you leave a comment down below in the comments here on the YouTube page, and also make certain that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. And that's really all you need to do. If you have any questions regarding any kind of stamping, the different tools, or anything like that, and I actually have several projects coming up where I will demonstrate a few other tools that are kind of fun to use with stamping. But if you have questions, make sure you leave it down in the comments, and I will see you guys on Fundamental Fridays with the winners from this drawing and also any answers to your questions. See you then.